Today is day 98 of 100 Random Acts of Kindness. We are in PEI, and I'm just going to flip. It's low tide right now, so we are just out really in the ocean, in the middle of the ocean. I'll flip it around and kind of let you see what I'm looking at. You can see, right, I don't even know if it would pick it up, but there's the bridge to PEI way over there in the distance. I don't know if you would see it or not. So Keith and I are out here. Everybody else is inside. I do have a bathing suit on, I promise, even though it looks like I don't. And I just thought, Keith and I were kind of talking about today's random act of kindness, and I thought, you know what, I know what one I'm going to do. And I thought about this a long time ago, and I thought, I don't know, but I think I've made sense of it enough to make a video about it. This was back when I was stage 2, and I was in chemo during my 27th birthday. And July and August are just really hot. And so I am not the type, and then when you're in chemo for a hormonal cancer, you get hot flashes a lot. And I gained a pile of weight that is still on me. And that makes you hot. It was just a bad combo. So then it was, okay, well, you can wear a wig. And I thought, oh yeah, I just want to trap the heat in and wear this friggin' so thick wig. No, I don't want to do that at all. So I thought, you know what, I am gonna rock a bald head. I made sure I had sunscreen on in the summer, and in the winter, it doesn't matter. And sometimes I would wear scarves, but 5% of the time. So I'm in a local bulk food store, and I am at the cash. So I'm standing there, totally bald head, 27 years old. The cashier says, "Do you have cancer?" And I said, "Yeah, I do." And she said, "What, are you in treatment? Or you must be in treatment right now." Now, this girl was about 16. When you have cancer, you realize that a lot of people don't use the word treatment. And because treatment can mean so many things, I find cancer patients will use the word treatment, but people who don't have cancer or don't really have anybody close to them use chemo. Are you in chemo? And so when she said treatment, I thought, you're really young to be using that word. You have some close connection with this. So as soon as she said treatment, I thought, okay, you know what you're talking about. So I said, I'm in treatment for breast cancer. Yes, I am. And she said, my mom has cancer. And I thought, there it is right there. And she had something in her abdomen. I don't remember which one it was, but it was an organ in her abdomen. And so I said, how's your mom doing? And she said, well, she's in the middle of chemo, and we chit-chatted and stuff. And I just said, oh yeah, I'm rocking this bald head. Good thing I don't have any dents in it, I think was something I commonly said. And she said, when I left, she said, you really do look beautiful bald. And I didn't get emotional at the time. I was able to walk away, and I just thought, wow, you are so young to A, understand what this is like, even if it's not from a personal perspective, and B, to not make it feel like you're staring at my bald head. And so many people stared. It was crazy. And I'm learning, I sometimes will catch and realize somebody's wearing a wig and think, oh, I wonder if they're in chemo. So I'm not saying that everybody was gawking or anything. But instead of her looking at me like a cancer patient, she looked at me like another person, and she destigmatized the whole thing. I just felt like I was talking to another human instead of Katie the cancer girl and the cashier. It was like, oh yeah, I know about this. My mom has it. And that to me, that random act of kindness, if I'm walking around with a bald head and I've got no eyebrows and no eyelashes, I'm not trying to hide anything. I rarely wear makeup as it is. It was the same back then. I've got the bald head. Now, I'm not also saying that if you see somebody like that, you should just go up and say, how's your cancer doing? But the fact that she kind of, at 16 years old or 17, she was in there somewhere, to be able to just have the conversation, which so many people shy away from. And when I say the word cancer, people shut down. They don't want to talk about it because it's awkward for them. It's not awkward for me. I've been dealing with this for 8 years, but it's awkward for a lot of people. And it's just kind of amazing that this young girl who obviously had been exposed to it was able to just talk about it without changing the subject. She's the one who brought it up. And that has just always stuck with me. When I was writing a lot with my blog, I wrote all about it and it got so many responses. I got people tweeting me or writing comments on my blog saying, wow, like what a young girl to be able to say that and do that, and how lovely that you could experience that. And I thought, wouldn't it be amazing if 1 in 2 of us will have cancer in our lifetime? And I'm going to say nobody can talk about it, but people without cancer have a really hard time talking about it. And someone like me, who I'm on social media, I'm very active. I'll get up in front of hundreds of people. I write about it. I do a ton of stuff around cancer. I will talk about it till the cows come home. And so when somebody isn't willing to talk about it, I always think that's interesting. Like, why is it awkward for you? I'm the one who has cancer. So to that girl who, I never caught her name, I know where she worked, I know where she lived. I'm just kidding. I just, that has always stuck with me. And I think it just goes to show that, I don't even know if she ever would remember that, but it just goes to show the effect that we have, and that butterfly effect, that 7 years later, almost on my 31st birthday, I am still talking about that interaction. And I just think it's amazing. So when you have that urge, how often have I said that during these videos? When you have the urge and go, I don't want to be weird, or I don't want to creep her out, or I don't want to whatever, most of the time go for it. I can't speak for every single person who's ever had cancer, but I think if you're going to do something that you have good intentions, it's often a good idea. I hope that made sense. I hope I was able to kind of verbalize how I feel and how it made me feel. And that destigmatizing aspect is just so huge when half Canada's population will end up with cancer. Talk to you tomorrow.